what was your journey like, and what inspired you to start Toothsi?
Right now in India, we are like much ahead than Invisalign. We are like 3x as compared to the Invisalign in India. It's like a mission, frankly, because we being such a big population, still the motivation for the oral care, education for the oral care, braces is very low. Being an orthodontist, I know like it's not possible to just give an appliance and say, hey, take this appliance, go home, wear it.
But this is a very alien concept to the West, that why would a dentist go to a patient's house?
They don't want to travel. Most of the people are busy and they will come to the clinic just for 5-10 minutes of some tightening or some change of wires, and then they have to go back. It's like a one-day job. So we need to respect their time. Over the period of last 3 years, we had done more than 2.5 to 3 lakh scans over the period of time.
Wow. Hey guys, so welcome to another new episode of the Digital Dentistry Deep Dive podcast, where we talk about digital tools, techniques, and strategies that are shaping up the clear aligner industry. Today is a very special guest. I have a guest from back home from India, where I am from. His name is Dr. Pravin Shetty. Dr. Pravin is the co-founder of Toothsi. If you don't know, Toothsi is the leading clear aligner brand in India. They do 3 times more cases than Invisalign in India. And it has become a household name and a category in itself. And he has been one of the pioneers to bring this technology to India as well. A great learner, a scholar, an inventor, based on his own words. And I think he and his team is one of the only company that has changed the clear line adoption into India. So a really great episode. Hope you enjoyed. It's really important for someone who is looking to start their own clear aligner journey, either through a practitioner or setting up their own business in their own country. The story of Toothsi is very inspirational and motivational, and something that we will see in business case studies going forward. But I was very privileged to have gone inside his mind and asking those questions, and the vision and the struggle that they had and the learnings that they have as well. So very important. Very much emphasis was given to the education, to the clinical research, to the patient experience and the customer experience, and also the end-to-end ecosystem. So hope you enjoyed this show. And this is the Digital Dentistry Deep Dive with Dr. Pravin Shetty. Hi, Dr. Pravin. Thanks for joining this podcast. I wanted to welcome you to this new episode. Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Pravin.
Yeah, thank you, Nipun, for inviting me over here. Thanks to connect with you.
Thanks. And I know we have spoken before once as well, and you were very gracious of accepting this invitation. So I think, Dr. Pravin, let's go into the the questions. And I know some people, obviously a lot of people, many people know in India about Toothsi. It has become a household brand name. It has become a category in itself in India about clear aligners. But I think a lot of people who might be listening to this, some of people who are ecosystem in the industry in Europe, US, and UK may not know about Toothsi or your personal journey, or a journey of a company that brought you to this point where it has become a household name, and how you scaled it up to that size. So can you briefly take us through in a few minutes, just what was your journey like, and what inspired you to start Toothsi years ago?
Yeah, definitely. So Nipun, it's always started like I being a orthodontist, and a very means I will not say that a successful practicing orthodontist, but a good orthodontist who with an inquisitive mind of doing something different. So I practice in one of the best place in the world, or you can say at least in India, it's one of the best place, that's in Bandra, Mumbai, and surrounded by all the glamour industries and everything. So it's like the first and most important thing that came into my mind as an orthodontist is what as an orthodontist I can offer best to my patients. So at that time, way back in 2004, being an orthodontist, the first thing what I done is I entered into the field of invisible braces, that is lingual orthodontics. So I went across the world, met people, trained myself with the best of the orthodontists from Germany, from Paris, from Korea, trained in laboratory procedure. It's a very tough job to be a to practice lingual orthodontics. So I done my all training, came back to India, started my you can say like first few cases, first time in India, and showed to the entire orthodontic fraternity in India ki this is what lingual orthodontics is, how the patient accept the appliance, how good the appliance is, how well we can do that. Then very well practicing with the lingual orthodontics, and then something stuck. I met few people or something more innovative. I enter into the field of CAD cam, like digital technology, and innovated, or you can say invented, my first CAD cam based customized lingual braces. So it's very popular in India at that point of time in 2002, 2008, 2009. So by the name of Lingual Matrix. So it's literally me and my partner. There's another my very close friend, Dr. Manjul Jain. So we used to sit together. We used to design, understand the reverse engineering software, understand the rapid prototyping machine, which machine we should use for 3D printing. Because in 2008-9, India as an center for any digital instruments, it's very difficult. Means you name for scanner, we didn't have scanner. You name for 3D printer, we didn't have 3D printer. So I still remember I used to send the things to Korea to do the scanning process, and then get it to India, do the casting of the metal, manufacture the bracket, and then successfully by using laser sintering machine, I developed my first rapid prototype lingual braces in 2009, and then I'm like full on into the digital technology over the period of time. So that's how started with the lingual orthodontics. Very like God gift or what, I don't know, but I'm a good practitioner. I do pretty well work in my orthodontic subject. Then in 2013, what I realized over the period of time, that lingual being a good appliance, but it needs a good skill of orthodontist to do the lingual orthodontics. It's not that easy to just go and do the lingual technique. And suddenly, the noise of West, like Invisalign, which was very popular from 2000 to 2012-13, it entered into the Indian market. So before that, I thought, yes, this is what the new appliance is there. This will come, which is totally digitally based, and thankfully, it don't require that much of skill set to do the mechanics or something. Everything is based on the CAD cam. It's like 3D printed and everything. So let me venture. So I went and met few people, and at that time nothing 3D software was available for us. So I was doing a manual uh, aligner setup, literally cutting the plasters, the model on the teeth, cutting it, setting it on the wax, and then doing the thermoforming. So again, I thought this is not my cup of tea, or this is not the way that we can scale in aligners. We need to have something absolutely software based. And at that time, with a lot of patents in place, so the aligner technology was not open to everyone.
Yeah.
So luckily got some software and one small 3D printer. Started my own small B2B business and started getting my understanding into the attachments, the type of attachments, the IPR, the 3D, the virtual setup science, which is very important. It's not that simple that we can just plan the aligners. Each aligners, it has certain methodology, certain mechanics to do the virtual setup, the attachment placement and everything. And luckily, because of my knowledge in all the 3D technology, it came very handy for me to implement in clear aligners. And thereon the journey started in the clear aligner. So again, started few cases, presented, met people, showcased all the cases that what we can do with the aligners. And at that time, I remember aligners are still thought that it is only for a mild to moderate cases, not like for the complex cases. And understanding of attachments was also very less at that point of time. Nobody knows which attachment works on which for which tooth movement requires what. So over the period of time, trial and error, getting into my own patient, treating them, getting the data, which works what, how, improvise myself in my own clinical practice and became better and better in the clinic in the aligner mechanics. Then we thought in 2018, if the aligners has to be more popular in India, it can't be only in B2B. We need to go to the patients or the consumer. We need to become a consumer facing brand rather than the doctor facing brand. Because unless and until you showcase to the world or make it popular household name, this technology cannot be used by everyone. So then me, my another few friends, we collaborated. We are like four people, four founders. So we collaborated and formed this company, Toothsi, with the aim and objective of making aligner technology more popular in India. And to make it more popular in India, definitely it's like a category creation. It's a brand creation which required lots of effort because it's not that easy to create a category where in India half of the population you calculate like billions of population is there, but you practically see like 75% of population is suffering from some or other form of malocclusion. Out of this 75%, only I can say 25 lakh cases or 25 to 30 lakh cases per year is the braces cases. So there is a huge gap is there between what the people are suffering, people are having the problem, and they actually want to get the treatment done. So this is the category which we wanted to plug in. We wanted to get into the mainstream, and for them to make it more popular is definitely we have to reach out to them. And how to reach here? Definitely, we need to use the best technology, and most important, India being a very price sensitive market, getting an affordable aligner to them is a main and it's a most important thing. So we formed a company, went into the market. Luckily, our own family friends supported. We built a company with the initial seed money, and then God grace, we struggled during the COVID period. We innovated ourselves during the COVID period. The COVID taught us a lot of things that how actually we can use the digital technology in time of COVID, how we can use the digital technology in connecting people or connecting the consumer who wants to get the teeth corrected or smile corrected. And then we use all the technology available in our kitty to connect the people, get the image, make the appliance, deliver, stay connect, do the treatment, troubleshoot the problem, and make the consumer happy. So COVID taught us a lot. And then post COVID, definitely we got a good amount of backing from our investors. And then the journey started. And from the team size of 50 people, we had grown to 500,000 and more than 1,000 people now.
Wow, that's really good. And I think, Dr. Praveen, that's very interesting. And I'll try to break it down and let's go layer by layer, right? So
Yeah.
there was one thing that you mentioned to start with. First was that the previous of the lingual braces side of things, that there was a lot of training and skill upskilling that was needed. So was scale in your mind at that time as well? Because I think that's what I was getting hinting at, right? So uh, you still wanted to make braces or clear braces as the household product, but that technology wouldn't scale up, and that was still in your mind. Yes, after a few years you landed on to clear aligners, but was that, and that the reason I'm asking that question is that it doesn't come naturally, right? So the dentist and the orthodontist may not be thinking of scale and efficiency and productivity from the start. So was that, or am I thinking something differently?
So definitely the scale is one subject which like it should matter to everyone because being an the lingual braces definitely we require a high skill orthodontist to do the lingual, and plus the acceptance from the patient for the lingual appliance is slightly on the borderline. Means out of 100 people, 20 might be very well comfortable with the appliance, then 80% are not comfortable. And then most important is for scale, we can't have the patient visiting our centers or our clinic every month. We need a appliance where the patient can do by themselves, change them by themselves, stay connected with the doctor, and once in a 3 month they can come and the treatment goes on perfectly well. So if you think and if you see in regarding to the scale, definitely an appliance should be easy to use, it should be very simplified, and it should be efficient, but very easy to use. We can't have the complex system giving to the patient and then we it's very difficult to scale. So luckily this aligner technology with the help of 3D printing, the plastic polymers, the prediction science, and the newer and newer methodology, new data, and the new clinical research coming up, the patient treated cases coming up. So we are in a full control now. What works, what don't work, which case work up to what prediction, and the patients are happily acceptance from the patient with the aligners are absolutely well. So that's help us in scaling the product.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And I think you mentioned about you didn't want the patients to come back every month to the clinic. So I think there's some stats, and obviously I'm just paraphrasing over here, but I think mostly in the European or the Western countries, the a patient would visit a dentist 3 to 4 months after every 3 to 4 months. So let's say once or twice to thrice a year.
Right.
And in India, I think it was once every 6 years. I don't know. I read stats somewhere. I may be wrong with the stats, but again, ballpark figure. That's very similar. So, wasn't that a challenge that when you were entering into the dental market, like in terms of scaling up, like would that be a problem for you that people don't want to come to a dentist, and that was that a trigger to bring it to their homes rather than calling them to the clinic?
Yes, yes. That's why, like Nipun, I mentioned, like the COVID area, during the COVID era, it was a boon for us, this technology. Because during COVID, nobody wants to visit, nobody wants to meet, they don't want to go to the dental clinic. And practically means we had seen the clinics were shut for 3 months, 6 months down the line in India. But there are lots of people, they wanted to get it correct. So if at that time we say that we want to do it braces, it's not unpractical, like a good choice of appliance for anyone in those areas, those time. So what worked for us is definitely COVID, then the need for this appliance, and then when they connected to us, because of this digital technology, we are able to give the best of treatment to them, staying just connected with us, rest everything, the appliance took care of everything. So that was the good part. Means it's like a blessing in disguise. There is a problem, but we had a solution for that problem. And with the newer all sciences available, the newer systems available, means we are rest assured that this thing will work and we'll get the best result. And nobody wants till now. The main challenge in orthodontics is one, the patient coming to the clinic once in a 4 weeks. It's still a big challenge for us because in today's time they don't want to travel. Most of the people are busy and they will come to the clinic just for 5-10 minutes of some tightening or some change of wires, and then they have to go back. It's like a 1 day job. So we need to respect their time, and we should be the we should use the best technology to help our patients. So that's how it played hand in hand.
Got it. No, I think thanks for explaining that. And I think going to the second part, so I'm just peeling the layer one after
Yeah.
each step. So the second thing that you mentioned is, and I think I've seen your other interviews as well as I was preparing for this last night for the interview. So one of the things that you mentioned was that you use technology, and I think we briefly touched on that to make aligners more affordable, because if you would have adapted or adopted the Western standards, Western everything, I know that it was around, let's say, $3,000 $4,000, which is around 1.5 lakh 2 lakh upwards, which is mostly Invisalign. But you were able to sell it at under $1,000 or $1,200 or whatever the bracket is. And I think you mentioned technology played a very important role. So can you break it down for us in terms of how technology played a crucial role in that? Because that's very innovative. Not many countries, even Middle East is very expensive, and other
Right.
African countries are also still very expensive. So how did you achieve that using technology?
So, Nipun, just to mention you, like why I say the technology played an important role is over the period of time, what we realize is something you get it from outside of your country. Then there is like entire Western countries, or you go to the eastern part, the labor cost is on the higher side, the technology cost is on the higher side. Then you need to import it into our country. Then there is a good amount of import duty, import tax. The taxation makes it like at least 30-40% more costlier for us. So what we decided at that point of time is definitely we put a manufacturing unit in India itself. So we put our manufacturing unit in Mumbai, and we got all the best of the 3D printers, industrial 3D printers from Germany, from US here, and then started doing the 3D printing in house here. So which brought down the cost phenomenally, and then the cost of labor is very less in India. Plus, now see, it's like whichever the best companies all across the world are using the 3D printer, we are using the same 3D printer. Whichever the best companies are using the thermoforming machine, laser print, laser marker, or the polymers, everything is available here. So what matter is in-house, made in India, manufacture here, use the best resource, which get the cost absolutely down, and get a high quality, or a high quality product, or I can say the same product. So no need to import anything from outside. You can manufacture everything here, so that the cost literally it will go down, or it has came down for us. And then over the period of time, what we realize is we need to make an ecosystem in a such a way that from the lead generation to designing, planning, as well as to manufacturing, and then to delivery, like whatever the appliance, the aligners are made, it has to be delivered in our own centers. So what we envisage is to make a very closed ecosystem for ourselves, so that we can control the cost. So the cost control or the affordability is only possible if we have a closed system. If you don't have the closed system, and if I just make a product and give it to some other doctors to do it, then the cost multiplies, and at the end, for the patient, it is always 2x, 3x more. So to make any product more popular in India, the cost is the first and most important thing. Then the use of best technology to give the best of the product, get best of the result. So we solved all the thing. In-house manufacturing, in-house team of our doctors, in-house closed ecosystem of our own centers. So end-to-end patient service we are done, so that this technique and appliance becomes more popular, and we can reach out to maximum of our consumer or our patient. And see, it's like I have the product, but if that product is at high value, nobody will touch in India, because then it's a question of that what you are going to spend on and how much you can spend. If I have to cater entire population, then it has to be within that range, so that they can come and they can buy it from us. If it is what other companies are charging, if it is more than that cost, it's very difficult to scale. So to scale, the cost control of the production cost, then the delivery cost, and the closed ecosystem, it helps us.
Got it. And I think you touched on the labor cost as well, and technology. And I think one of the things that obviously I was always wowed by the innovation that and a lot of times most of the people in the West wouldn't know how localization, innovation in the localized way of a modern technology that already existed in the West and that was localized. That's also an innovation in India for a population, like I think we are talking about 25 lakhs or 2.5 million, if I'm not wrong, right? Potential of
Yeah,
the scale. And I think one of the things which I noticed was when I was living over here in Ireland was that you guys used to send dentists to take scans for the patient at home.
yeah,
And home impression kits obviously was popular at that time, but this is a very alien concept to the West, that why
hmm,
would a dentist
hmm,
go to a patient's house to do it? And I know that there are nuances, there is cultural, like obviously a lot of people expect everything to be done at home in India as well. But can
yeah,
you walk us through? And I'm assuming that Tutsi was the first company to think of that. Like you don't see that in medical, like I know that we do blood test and everything, that's quite common, but how in dentistry, when the concept is slightly different, it's complex as well, it's not as easy, and there's a heavy, expensive equipment that the dentists are carrying, that's very
yeah,
expensive equipment, a scanner. Yeah.
yeah. See, like luckily, means as I said, the COVID, it's a blessing in disguise. So COVID helped us to innovate in such a way, and where we used our the trained doctor or the dentist to be in the ecosystem helping us. So now, how to get the trained dentist like leverage for our system is definitely the patient can't come, they can't visit, so better to go to their place. Then we were contemplating what we need to do, whether we should do this impression kit sending or any other thing. So I was like 100% sure from my experience, impression kit will never help. It will never help because you send like 100 impression kit, the the best impression is always like within 3 or 4 people can will be able to do that, and that also it's very tricky, very long, the entire the journey from sending the kit, doing the impression, getting it back, and then to connect to them, this is bad impression, good impression, it's a very operation heavy process, and the yield is very bad with the impression. So I was like absolutely clear from mind, this will never work, let's send our dentist with the scanner. So it's a non-invasive, no pain, no blood, nothing. So the dentist can go, make the patient comfortable, get all the chief complaint noted, what's his concern, what's his chief complaint, what correction he wants, what is the duration he is looking for. Just do the scan and upload on our cloud. So that's how we thought that let's send the dentist. So the doctor is there, he can discuss with the patient. The patient will also get that much of confidence. Ki, yes, I'm talking to the doctor. So that one-to-one discussion with the dentist or doctor at home is always means highly advantageous for anyone rather than someone doing the VC or something. So we sent the doctor, got the image here, and then our central team of orthodontists, dentists, and engineers, they make the plan, and then we send it through our digital platform and discuss with the patient. So definitely sending a dentist, it helps us a lot. It created a category for us because that's a USP for our company. Uh, nobody ever thought about this, and we were like, and we got an early mover advantage. We use that advantage for the best of the patient, and thereafter, like we have a huge team of dentists doing like hundreds of scans per day, so present across like 10 cities of India, major cities of India. So now I think over the period of last 3 years, we had done more than more than 2.5 to 3 lakh scans over the period of time.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
huge.
doctor, this is like, is this? I'm just trying to understand, and I know that I read some, obviously, some of your interviews that there has been a move to offline as well, from direct to consumer. Like obviously, I think direct to consumer is, I think it has been misused. So it's kind
Yeah.
of, you're reaching out marketing, but you're
Yes.
still delivering on the actual clinic experience at home or however you're taking the scans. But
Hmm.
you have moved to offline as well. So how is the balance between, are you still sending dentists at home, or was it only during the COVID time? And
Yeah.
what's the shift to offline about?
Yeah. See, Nipun, like as I mentioned, the brand creation or the category creation is a very difficult job. It's like a yeah,
Hmm.
it's like a mission, frankly, because we being such a big population, still the motivation for the oral care, education for the oral care braces is very low. So it's like we are putting a great amount of effort in convincing, motivating the people ki, hey, you are having a problem, get it treated. And if you want to get it treated, this is the appliance that you should use it because this is simple, invisible, removal, you can be socially active. So there are lots of hard work by our team, by our marketing team has been done to convince or to, it's like to make our population more aspiring. Ki you need to get your smile corrected, you need to get your teeth corrected. So by overdoing this, what we realize, ki we are marketing to entire population. Entire population is coming to us. So that's a category has been created. Now within this pool of consumer, there will be a mild case, there will be a moderate case, there will be a complex cases. So mild, moderate, it's fine. Mild cases, it's fine. But as the bucket is increasing, the number of people coming for the treatment is increased by many fold over the period of time. So we definitely need a store level activities to take care of all this thing. So it's like per month we are doing like 8,000, 10,000 scans. So these people, they need to come, they need to meet doctors. So then we realize that yes, we need to have an offline stores also, where anyone across the cities, they can come, they can meet our doctors for any troubleshooting. They should go, because we should be available to our consumer any point of time. Sometimes in the healthcare, people will be, few percentage of people are happy by talking on a phone or connecting to the customer support and talking, but there are like great pool of people still they want a face to face consultation with the doctors. So if there is a problem, they want a doctor to be there to discuss with them. So to understand, to take care of this patient, we started with our offline, so that we take care of our patient properly, we be with our patient properly, and be available to the patient whenever they have any problem. And then as the bucket, as I mentioned, bucket increases of different types of malocclusion. So we started lots of innovative thing in aligner itself. So it's not like simple cases now. So you name the cases which we used to supposed to be done with braces, we are doing with aligners. So it's like literally we are replacing the braces into the aligners. So that much of touch point is needed, that much of some adjustment is needed. So that's why we decided to open up stores, be at each city, be available to the patient, and solve their problem.
Got it. Got it. And then, doctor, is that? I'm just thinking that bringing it to the point of where you read about obviously Smile Direct Club applying for liquidation, and did that thing affect? I know that again we are going back to the misused word of direct to consumer because you're advertising directly to the consumer. Did that affect, and like what role in education did you play to, or was it not at all an effect in India?
No, see, we are not affected definitely, because we were very much like clear in our mind that what SDC has done, it cannot work in orthodontics. Being an orthodontist, I know like it's not possible to just give an appliance and say, hey, take this appliance, go home, wear it. No, the appliance need to be delivered. We need to assess the progress. We need to be with the patient, and then most important is the retention and stability. So this is the journey of the patient. It's not the one-time OTC product you just deliver it to the patient. They will take the product, they will go. It will never happen. And plus, if you understand Nipun, we do clinical procedures also. 50-60% of cases requires attachment placement. 50-60% of cases requires interproximal reduction. So this route SDC has never taken. So we were very much clear. If we have to do aligners, this is the important aspect of aligners. Clinical procedure is needed. And being an orthodontist with done so many cases by myself, I think like practically I might have designed or had overviewed within my team is more than 3,000, more than 2.5, 3 lakh cases I personally seen or designed with my team. So I know that which cases can work without IPR, without attachment, and which case will never work, which tooth movement required this. So we can't have that mindset that this product will just deliver without any doctors. Doctors is an integral part. But as I mentioned, we had created that ecosystem of not just lead generation, the manufacturing, the designing, the virtual consultation platform, then the offline centers. So because of this, whatever like it happens to the SPC, I'm keeping my finger crossed. It will never happen because we are very careful in our approach, and done all. We took all the care with the patient for all these clinical appointments and everything. And people use some name like direct to home or something. We are never like this. Only our scan is direct to home. Only scan. Rest everything is centrally managed by our team of doctors, and everything is done in our centers by our own orthodontists. And luckily, we have the pool of orthodontists working for us. More than 100 orthodontists are working for us. And there is a every weekly we conduct training program. We train them. We give them the like understanding in entire mechanics. So all are at one level, centrally controlled. So everybody knows what this appliance need and how to deliver this appliance and get the success out of it.
That's brilliant. And this is and I know that it's usually misused word, and that's why I was trying to kind of use and clarify that to everyone as well. And I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of shift happening, Dr. Praveen, as well. Like every of our customers or any people that we talk to as well, people have realized that if you're thinking of one time conversion, if you're not thinking of patients, if you're not ethical, but still you're not thinking long term, that's where most of the, and there are a lot of dentists in there as well who have started the direct to home, where they're just sending appliances, sorry, the home impression kits. And people are still doing that, and that too, in we have so many people that we speak to in US and other countries as well. So I think there is a shift happening to B2B delivered through the clinic or through
Yeah.
clinical procedures. And do you see that happening in India as well, or?
See, in India, like we being a prominent player, like from the start only, we were like very much clear that what we can do with the appliance. So, as I said, being an orthodontist, like we know that without doing this IPR and attachment, nothing can move. So, like there is no compromise on that. If there is a requirement of attachment IPR, we used to do that. We never used to give the aligner directly. He just take this, use it, the teeth will fall in place. Never. So we are very careful in approach. Whatever the indications are there, whatever the need is there for this case to get a success, we do that. And my advice for anyone who thinks that by just giving the impression kit or by just making the aligners without taking into consideration the clinical procedure, there is only one category, 1% of cases, some percentage of cases which will work, but rest will never work. And don't try to make it work. It will never happen. It will never happen.
Yeah. And plus the after effects to the health of the patient as well, right, which are
Yes.
not known.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, Dr. Praveen, I think let's go to the next question. I think we talked about Smile Direct Club, so I think that's very clear. So we spoke about Invisalign is very active in India as well, and how do you differentiate apart from price? Like I know that you mentioned that a lot of these things have commoditized, as you're using the same technology, similar softwares, right? So the printers are same
Yeah.
manufacturers, same quality material, same skills. So how is where the differentiation is then?
See, like frankly speaking, like it's not fair to compare with Invisalign because they are like in this market from the last 23 years, and they're like 23 years ahead of us. But definitely, what we had achieved in the last 3 years in India is in terms of results, in terms of quality product, in terms of customer experience and customer testimonials, we are at par with them. Means type of cases, may it be a simple, moderate, complex, we are doing all sort of cases. Being a manufacturing unit ourselves, we like in terms of compliance, in terms of certification, we got the US FDA 510K cleared for our product. We have an ISO certification for our product. The entire manufacturing unit compliance and what you say the QA QC, it is well maintained. The amount of production rejection, amount of production failure, so everything need to be mapped. It's not just aligners. So the 3D printing QA/QC is very important. The printing resolution is very important. The thermoforming fit is very important. The aligner product is very important. So we maintain all this production cycle, the what is it, the entire product quality very tightly. We get a best quality product out from our facilities. Then coming to the results, we are at par. Means we can have a now gallery of patient treated by the Toothsi aligners and got the results in most of the cases. And then a value proposition, what I think as compared to the Invisalign, what we have the best is, as I mentioned, is our own ecosystem. So training of our own doctors, correcting our own doctors, reviewing our own doctors. So we have the entire process, entire what is the infrastructures are made so that anybody wants to discuss the plan, the team is available. There is a problem in the patient, the team is available. Problem in the aligners, there is a repeat production happens. So this is like a very great, it's a huge infrastructure what we have created. and there is a great operational skill being developed in our own people to manage so many patients every month. Means I can proudly tell like the amount of deliveries done by our individual doctor, it's like phenomenal. Means nobody can imagine that individual doctor can do so much of deliveries of appliance and check only aligner cases month on month so much in our ecosystem. So differentiation, I will say definitely the product is at par, the results are at par, having a better ecosystem of doctors being trained, hand holded, then like the mentally they are prepared how to troubleshoot, how to use the aligners in such cases, and good one-on-one discussion happens, and all are focused only for aligners. So that entire mental focus is only for the aligners. And means you can say like right now in India we are like much ahead than Invisalign. We are like 3x like on a higher aspect as compared to the Invisalign in India. And plus brand equity, the Toothsi, what we have created in the span of 3 years, it is like a huge achievement for my team. Means to make this category more popular, household name, synonym for the aligners. Right now, it's like people go and ask for Toothsi, not aligners. They will say, I want Toothsi. Then they will say, oh, aligners. So that is what we had envisaged. This has to be like a household name, and this has to be like a synonym for the aligners. And if you see the Google search, the trending in Google for the aligners, the Toothsi is always at the top. So thankfully, with the great team effort, we are, I think we are doing a good job.
No, I see that marketing efforts, and obviously I've seen the brand ambassador representation from really key people like Anushka Sharma and Virat Kohli. So I think that helps as well, and obviously very timely as well. And
Yeah.
and just want to understand that. Do you see that? I think you mentioned about the 3x versus 1x for Invisalign. Do you see that globally, like the share of Invisalign is shrinking, and obviously with more like Tootsie or other companies setting up in, there are so many regional players in every part of, in different countries as well, and people are understanding that it's not just the only brand, it's a category, and you can ask for locally same quality, best or much better quality products as well at affordable prices. Obviously prices, and obviously use control the ecosystem. That's icing on the cake there.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely it will play some role. But see, the market is huge. The amount of the new people entering, definitely on one side the new products are entering, but still the average population and everything is so much. So the new category has been created. New people will come. New wannabes are there. They want to get it treated. So at the end, I think there is a space for everyone. There is a space for everyone. It's only the might be a transient, but it's a space for everyone, and it's a huge market to grow for everyone. Definitely, it's like you need a good product, you need a good support system, and the product need to be delivered. Like means you need to get a good clinical success. Without clinical success, nothing will work. Any company, nobody can work. So very important is the doctor training, the product need to work, and rest everything will fall in place. And it's a huge market globally also. Like most of the countries still they don't have the aligners. Everybody is still into the braces. So over the period of time, as per the prediction, if it happens, so it's a like the next 5 years to we need to watch what is going to happen.
You mentioned a lot of times about training and education and doctor training. So I'm assuming obviously training plays a very important role in your day-to-day kind of, overseeing how that is executed, because as you said, clinical success has to be there as is a pillar of the success of a company as well, and the treatments as well. So how, like, what I have seen, and again the dentists that we talk to as well, like there's lack of confidence when they think of aligners. Like orthodontists, yes, they do understand, but the dentists are not taught that in school. They're not taught the digital skills in school as well. So how do you like create that virtual university, if I can say so, within Tootsie to train these, and what kind of things, that skill gaps, do you see when they're coming out from the dental schools?
See, like as you already mentioned, like in the school, the dental school, whether it's in West or in India itself. So the orthodontics as a subject per se, there is a like completely lack of training or a basic understanding has been given in the subject of orthodontics. Nobody's been trained in aligners per se during the dentistry. Definitely in the post graduation also. Right now, few of the universities or the colleges are teaching about aligners. Otherwise, it is just braces, braces, and braces. So the person who is passed out from any university, the postgraduate, definitely he need to enroll himself, get trained, because this mechanics is slightly different. It's a 3D software, it's a 3D printing, then different biomechanics and different clinical science. So it's a four different part are there. You need to understand the virtual software, what are the algorithms, what works, how the teeth moves, what are the nuances for the virtual software. There are certain science methodology in moving the teeth. It's not like with the click of button you move all the teeth, so same will follow in the patient's mouth. So you need to understand that. Then there is a lot of thing people need to understand what how the product will behave if the models are printed in a good printer and if the models are printed in a bad printer. So there is a cost for everything. Then definitely the biomechanics plays an important role, because most of the orthodontists, dentists still they don't know about any biomechanics. Orthodontists they know the biomechanics about the braces but not about the aligners. There is a slightly difference is there. They need to understand the entire ecosystem of how the aligner moves, what is the mechanics, what are the mechanotherapy involved in this, and then how you are going to support your patient if there is a problem with aligners, because it's a prediction science. Nothing can move like you predict 100%, nothing will move 100%. You will come to 80%, 90%. So what are you going to do if you're stuck? So this all is an evolving subject. And in our ecosystem, the people who join us, we train them, teach them in virtual software, in lab tour, the product manufacturing, how it manufacture, what are the detailing in the manufacturing, what you need to see, what you need to observe. Then there is a continuous. We conduct webinar, we conduct case reports, we conduct the problem solving. We do a scheduling for the problem solving of cases. So continuously we keep on training our people so they can give the best to the our patient. Same with the doctors. We conduct monthly webinar. We conduct a group hands-on, train them in IPR, train them in attachment, train them in adjunct placement. If there is need for elastic placement, when, how, why. So there is a lot of training is required, because people may think it's an aligners, just give it, it will work. It will work in 10-20% of cases, but 80% of cases you need to put your mind together.
Got it. Got it. And okay, so I think Dr. Praveen, let's move on to the next question about. I know you talked about a lot of things that are happening locally, and I think Tutsi has been at the forefront of a lot of innovation in the space, at least. Uh, so, what are the three trends that you're seeing in aligners or digital dentistry? I think let's call it, in general in aligners as well, that you are seeing and you are reading about that you see in the next 4 to 5 years would be true.
See what I can look at this as an uh, three different metrics. One is definitely software part. The software part, I think so. Right now, everyone is at par on the software part, because means by far large, like we are sorted with the software. Someone might be having here and there some better tools, but as a concept of the software, means it is like nothing big can happen on the software part. But definitely the second point which is important is on the plastic polymers. There is a huge thing, means innovation is still, I think it is needed to be done in the plastic polymers. The future is for the plastic polymers, because the new plastic polymers will come with an higher resiliency, higher elasticity, the wear time. Over the period of time, I think some plastic polymers can come where the patient can chew on it. So that's another pain point right now, which is in relation with the aligners, that patient wants to remove the aligners when they are eating. So it is slightly cumbersome for them to remove in front of people and carry and do all these things. So over the period of time, some innovator might be doing this innovation somewhere. He might listen to us, that some plastic polymers where they can just chew it, they can eat along with it, and then they can go and brush and clean back. So plastic polymers is the one thing which is much needed for better aligner mechanics. And then definitely the third and most important part is over the period of time, we develop that skill. We need to get better and better understanding the clinical science, what works, what not works, how it will work, and keep on doing more aligner mechanics. And in this, another most important thing is about the different products. It's just not aligners. We need to have a expansion appliance associated with the aligners. We need to have something like a growth appliance with the aligners. We need to have some uh, appliance which can grow the jaw. So luckily, we innovated. Means I innovated in my own ecosystem our own appliance by the name of EMPA, which is used for it's an aligner mandibular uh, protrusion appliance which helps in growing the mandible. So by using the different softwares and different features, I developed that and got a phenomenal results in all the growing patient from 10 years to 14 years in a class 2 division 1 malocclusion retrognatic mandible where we can use this appliance instead of any functional appliance or bulky appliance. So that's a great innovation. And then there is a lot of like expansion, as I mentioned, for like bilateral expansion, unilateral expansion, distalization. So a lot of innovation is needed, and it will happen over the period of time in this appliance.
That's great. And do you still practice your traditional orthodontics or?
Yeah. I
Oh, you
practice. I
do?
practice.
Okay.
I practice. I practice twice a week because, as I mentioned, I have a good amount of practice and doing only aligners, lingual, and all those things, and plus lots of innovation and lot of clinical experience. It comes from my practice. Then I can do all my R&D over there, and then I can pass on to my team. So it helps me to be in constant touch with the clinical science also. So because something I believe is lot of clinical practice will help you in dealing the problem in orthodontics. And if means I believe if I face a problem, that means everybody is going to face a problem. So I try to deal with the problems, solve it, and then I make it open to my all other colleagues. So it keeps on helping me in evolving in my clinical practice and understanding the science better and better.
And
Because
stay
I
closer to your patients as well.
stay closer to the patient, stay closer to the software, understand the designing, then what will go wrong in the manufacturing, what will go wrong in production. So everything I can link it properly. So it helps me in becoming slightly a better expert in solving the problem.
And then you come back to your team with five more ideas.
Five more ideas.
Cool. I think, Dr. Ravi, last question. Like, I know that you are very busy, and you said that obviously 2 days you are doing clinical, 3 days coming back, where you might be doing 5 days of work at Tootsi. Then, like, how is a typical day like? Like, when you like, how do you split your day? How do you manage everything? And we ask this question because I think it's inspirational for other people as well. It's motivational as well, plus something that they can learn how to manage. And for me personally as well,
I, I think I
learn from
think I,
you.
that, I think that question you need to put it straight across to my wife because I think she will be having a lot of complaint about this. But yes, for me there is no complaint, and I'm a bit of a workaholic. My day start like early morning 7:30. I mean the first thing wherever I'm there is go and hit the gym, exercise for at least 1.5 2 hours, play a good amount of sports, and my means I play cricket, badminton, gym, cross training, everything. So without exercise, I never start my day. So that's very mandatory. And then by I'm out by 10:30, 11, and I'm back to my home like by night 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And this is like entire my schedule for the day is either in the lab or with my design team, with my doctors, understanding, meeting them, checking the cases, discussing the cases, and then meeting the doctors, and then meeting my other team with the marketing, with the sales, understanding the problem, what they are facing, what we are facing, try to coordinate between each team because it's a big, huge ecosystem. So as it has been said, like if the team becomes big, they stop talking to each other.
Yeah.
So I try to get everyone in one platform, make them talk to each other, solve their problem so that they can perform individually very well. And being a, what you say, as I mentioned, like I am like always would like to be in thick of action. Like there is no lazy day for me. Means I just work, understand it's like be with the people, be with my team, and be available to them whenever they want. And then keep on reading, keep on checking what is happening worldwide, understand these mechanics, keep on doing something new in these mechanics, some new appliance, some new design, some new software. Because over the period of time, if you see like what I am managing from the software to production to mechanics, there are lots of softwares are involved. There is a 3D printing software, there is a the robotic software, there is our internal workspace software is there. So this over the period of time we keep on evolving that how we can make our operation make it much better for the operation as well as to the patient also. So what the patient will see, what our my team will see. So there is a great amount of like what you say brainstorming happening between our team and keep on changing what we have developed over the period of time. So by night I come, have my dinner, and have a good round of means watch Netflix. I keep on scrolling over the Netflix Prime, check some good movies, and then go to sleep.
Can I ask you a personal question? Like you mentioned
Yeah.
about the gym and exercising, right? And I think like is that something like I know that because your day is so busy, right? And taking out 1.5, 2 hours is very critical. And has this always been the case? I'm just trying to understand that, and a lot of more people now start the day with gym and exercising. Is that like what's the thinking behind that? Because obviously your day is 12-hour shift in a way, right? So
Because I means I'm a sports person from my childhood. I used to play a lot, and that keep me motivated, keep me means clear in my mind what I want to do in my life, no confusion. And as being a sports person, it's always motivate you to do something better, keep on evolving. Because in a competitive sports, it's always a bit of aggression, bit of result oriented. You have to perform, so that's slightly inbuilt. And I definitely feel like we might be busy in our work, so we can't ignore our health.
yeah.
If you are fit, everything will fall in place. If you are not fit, you are not able to work, so there is no inspiration to our people. To inspire people, you have to be with them. At least I personally believe I need to work more than my team so that my team get inspired. So not in a one field, but at least in a 10 field, I will work and be with them so that they also know that boss is working, so better we also work.
No, I
And
think
that's
that's
how
very inspirational. Sorry.
and that's how exercise plays a major role. It keeps you very healthy, very fresh.
No, and I think that balances your, as you said, it gives you clarity
Yeah.
and energy to run through the day as well. Yeah. Great, Dr. Praveen. Thank you. I know we went 5 minutes over time, but thanks for the kind of the candid answers, the honest feedback to certain things, answering to the questions. I hope you enjoyed answering. I hope this was inspirational to the people who would be listening. Plus, I think it's more educational as well because I think Tutsi, how I feel is that Tutsi is more of an icon in India, and the way you have created a category of yourself. Not many companies have seen it. Companies have gone and they have come and they've gone, and
Yeah.
not many companies are still standing to that penetration within the audience and within the consumers of such a high population country. So I think just want to thank you that you have taken that path and created a category in itself, which is very tough in itself. Yeah. So any parting thoughts, Dr. Praveen?
No, nothing. Thank you for connecting and like allowing me to express my thoughts. And definitely, it's a big journey. And being an orthodontist, like it's always like I look back and I like just observe that what we have created, and definitely we have created one of the biggest ecosystem in India, or I think in the global itself. And my word of wisdom for all the people, like what I've seen, the people, they think that aligners can be done by anyone and they can give, just market and give it to anyone. It will never work. Long term, it will never work. Long term, it will always work whenever you take care of your patient, and the product need to give the successful result. Without successful result, nothing will happen. And that's our mantra. Whatever we do, we will check that this is indicated for this case. Otherwise, you just reject the case. Better not to treat it. Let the patient go. Be happy. We will do wherever we are able to deliver what we have promised.
Great. Thanks, Dr. Praveen. Thanks
Okay.
for your time. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you are, entering into the journey of starting your own clear aligner services, or setting up a manufacturing unit, or setting up a chain of clinics offering clear aligners, you need a really good quality software which should have the case management side of things, which should have a remote monitoring side of things, and also should be white labeled. Smile Genius Dental provides you all in one software to do everything that you will need on those key areas. We provide you with the doctor's portal, which is the dentist facing portal where they can submit the cases and remote monitor the patient's progress. We provide the labs with the lab case management side of things, where they can manage the incoming requests from the doctors, but also have visibility of the operation side from the patient side as well. And then we have provided you with the patient monitoring app, because it's all about compliance and engagement at the end. So Smile Genius Dental is the all-in-one platform which is white labeled for your brand, to provide you with your consumers with that end-to-end experience, to provide more efficiency and productivity to your business without needing you to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and years of development time to build the software yourself. So call in to our team or book an appointment with us, and we'll be happy to walk you through what Smile Genius is all about. But until next time, stay tuned for the next really good episode of the Digital Dentistry Deep Dive podcast.